From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. U.S. President Donald Trump says no country is immune from political violence following Saturday night shooting incident outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner. That shooting incident left a Secret Service agent wounded at the Washington Hilton Hotel. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack.
Authorities believe the suspect, Cole Allen, sent his family a critique of hotel security and how his plan to check into the hotel ahead of time allowed him to get weapons inside. President Trump was asked about it on 60 Minutes.
And he wrote this quote, "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing." He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane.
He was pretty incompetent, too, because he got caught.
In that 60 Minutes interview last night, Trump said he hopes organizers can redo their dinner within a month. But any hint of a changed relationship with the press went up in smoke when Trump also told CBS's Norah O'Donnell, "You're a disgrace," for quoting part of the suspect's message. King Charles III and his wife, Queen Camilla, arrive in Washington today for a 4-day state visit aimed at celebrating America's 250th anniversary. Christine Frechette will travel to Washington today for her first official foreign mission as Quebec's new premier. She's set to meet Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Mark Wiseman, and take part in a roundtable with American and Canadian business associations. A new Angus Reid poll suggests Canadians give Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberal government passing grades in international relations after his first year, but they wanted to focus more on affordability. 2,000 Canadians were surveyed online this month ahead of tomorrow's one-year anniversary of the last general election that had a focus on who was best positioned to manage our trickier relationship with the states. Just 31% of respondents thought that relationship will be the top concern for the government in its second year. Top priority for most was the cost of living. And a Liberal member of Ontario's provincial parliament says Premier Doug Ford has apologized to her after he hurled a personal insult in the legislature last week.
Stephanie Smythe represents Toronto St. Paul's and says Ford reached out to her and she accepted his apology. The comments in question came during a debate about a law that restricts public access to the records of the Premier, cabinet ministers, and their staff. Smythe, who worked for decades as a broadcast journalist before entering politics, asked Ford why a Premier who claims to be highly accountable is making it hard to hold him to account. He responded by insulting her tenure as a journalist.
Do you know why the members down here? Because CP24 didn't want her anymore. Bottom line. Simple. That's why she's down here.
Then doubled and tripled down when the remarks were met by outcry and calls for apologies from the opposition benches. Don Mitchell, the Canadian Press.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, both of Canada's NHL teams that are still in the playoffs suffered losses last night. The Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning are tied at 2 games each in their first-round series. The Lightning rallied to beat the Habs 3-2. Canadiens winger Cole Caulfield is looking ahead.
We knew it was going to be a long series. It wasn't going to be easy, so obviously this feeling sucks, but you got to move on.
Game 5 takes place Wednesday in Tampa. Ryan Poehling's overtime goal lifted Anaheim to a 4-3 win over Edmonton and a 3-1 lead in their series. The Oilers will be on the brink of elimination when the series returns to Alberta for Game 5 Tuesday. 2 Toronto sports teams racked up W's against respective opponents from Cleveland. The NBA's Toronto Raptors edged the Cavaliers to tie up their first-round playoff series at 2 games apiece, and the Toronto Blue Jays grabbed a series win with Sunday's 4-2 victory over the Cleveland Guardians. The Jays play host next to the Boston Red Sox tonight. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.